presented by Hatch State Line Toyota and Hatch Ford of Silver City. I'm your host, Jake Wetzel. My co-host, Jack Rasmussen, will be joining me shortly. Today, him and I will discuss some things with the cross-country coach, Macario Campos, and the assistant men's basketball coach, Jared Drake. But first, we're going to give a quick Mustang recap of this weekend's events. Elias and Aaron Perez are your Hatch State Line Toyota Male Athletes of the Week, while Gracie Lovato is your Hatch Ford Silver City Female Athletes of the Week. All the athletes are represented on the cross-country team. Football team, volleyball team, the basketball teams, and the cross-country teams have been in action since, we last did a podcast here. Football team, in their two games, defeated West Texas on senior night 41-37, but last week they were run over by UTPB 37-14. Volleyball team, the week before, would lose in 3 to West Texas and then defeat Cameron in 5 on senior night to end their home stand. And the following week, they would end the season at Eastern New Mexico University and Lubbock Christian, both losing in 4 sets. Their season is now over. They finished the year 3-25. That Cameron win was interim head coach Hobie Van Noy's first win. Men's and women's hoops teams have both played exhibition games. Since the last recording of this podcast, the women have been defeated by Grand Canyon and almost defeated UTEP last weekend. Well, the men last week were defeated by New Mexico State. They were in the game down 11 with about 3 minutes left, and then a barrage of threes went off. Cross-country teams showed out at the LSC Championships, running in the Lone Star Conference Championships last Saturday morning. The Mustang men finished 4th out of 13. Elias Perez came in 5th with a time of 25 minutes, 12 seconds, and he was followed by his brother Aaron Perez at 6th place. Also, Elias and Aaron have been named to the LSC All-Conference team, with Elias being the newcomer of the year. Rowan Flores was named the Freshman of the Year in the LSC. And then on the women's side, they placed 9th out of 15th. The leading runner was Gracie Lovato coming in 15th, followed by Itzella Darkenwell in 43rd. Gracie Lovato was also named All-Conference LSC runner. And with that, we're going to be joined soon by Coach Campos and Jack. Today by Coach Campos. So, Coach, you got the South Central Regionals coming up, correct?
Correct, yes.
So, how have you and your team been preparing for that? Because that's within the next 2 weeks.
Jake, thank you very much for having me at the program again. We just continue. I mean, we just had our conference championships. That's part of the equation of our schedule. And we just continue. We tapered off a little bit for our conference championships, and then this week we hit it hard again, and then the following week we'll taper in to our regional meet up in Denver. So we're excited. I believe the weather is going to be similar to what it is. So the colder it is, the better for us. But then again, our South Central includes RMAC, which they're at the same temperature as well. So we just get an advantage for our Lone Star Conference competitors.
So you've had 4 runners recently named to some awards in the LSC. You had Rowan Flores. He's the Freshman of the Year. Can you tell us a little bit about him?
Yeah, I mean, one interesting fact about Rowan, I mean, he's an intelligent student. So he technically should be a senior in high school this year. He was bumped up. I don't remember which grade it was. So, everyone is surprised, and he's really done his work, and that process has been well. So, but technically he should, he's still 17. Doesn't turn 18 till next year. Yeah.
It's impressive. He's beating all these seniors and juniors. Yeah, that's impressive.
Yeah, and he's from Los Alamos. That's where he graduated from. Yeah, just a really strong academic school.
So you had 2 other ones. You had Aaron and Elias Perez. They both earned all LSC nominations, and I believe it was Elias. He earned the newcomer.
Yes, he did.
So can you tell us a little more about those 2 guys?
Yeah, they're brothers. So they're almost like twins. Their performances have been just back to back all this season. And I think only Aaron has beat him once at the Chili Pepper. But they're both from the El Paso area, and Elias transferred out from Adams State, so yeah, that's where he went. He's very both come from championship teams, so it's good to have someone that's been at that pinnacle from Texas. So if you're winning state in Texas, you're pretty solid. So they're performing right for what we got them out here for.
We'll shift here to the girls' side. You have one girl, your freshman Gracie Lovato. She was also named All Conference for the LSC. Can you tell us a little about Gracie?
Yeah, Gracie's a freshman. She just grabbed the last spot. She was sitting in the between 10 and 15, and just things kind of got a little, and everyone's hunting that down. So it's not just you earn what you get. So I was good. I was glad to see that, because at that point where I was at, I couldn't tell if she was going to lose a spot or gain a spot, because I had to stay at that one spot to continue cheering on the rest of our teams as they were coming in. So I couldn't get a clear visual of the finish line. So when I got there, I said I got 15. I was like, oh, you got that last spot, so that was good. Yeah.
Yeah, I have a question about altitude and its effect on like competitors that aren't used to it. Like I'm not sure your coaching background, but if you were coming to a team like we did track and the meet was on our campus, or Adams State or Colorado School of Mines, how do you prepare your athletes differently to compete in altitude versus sea level or different altitude?
And that's a good question. When you have the exposure being the acclimation period, well then that race is a lot easier. But let's backtrack a little bit, and I'll give you a little example of what happens at the altitude. So, and I'll try to condense this as quick because it's a exercise phys lecture.
Hey, I'm cool with that.
You have oxygen molecules, and then you have marshmallows. They're going to represent the same. And the reason I use this example is because an oxygen molecule, you have barometric pressures. So the higher the altitude you go, there's less barometric pressures. The lower you go, there's more atmospheric pressure. So the marshmallow is still a marshmallow regardless if it's compressed. So we're taking a breath from within our lungs, so that stays constant. So if you have just for conversation purposes, you have a shoebox, whatever the dimension is of a regular shoebox. Not Shaquille O'Neal's shoebox, but just a regular shoebox. At sea level, there's a lot of barometric pressure, so you could crunch in, let's just say, 100 marshmallows, right? When you come to altitude, because there's less barometric pressures, they expand. So now you can't, let's just say you get 60 marshmallows in there. So since the breath represent the shoebox, well, you're taking one breath at sea level and you have 100 oxygen molecules in that breath. When you're at altitude, now only 60 are within that breath. So you see what occurs there?
Sure.
The composition of that marshmallow didn't change, just the size is still a marshmallow. So the oxygen is still 20.72% regardless of where it is. What changes is the size of that oxygen molecule. So and that happens pretty quickly. That's just the beauty of how our body is. You've been to an airplane or you've been on an elevator and you go up and your ears pop. That's how quickly our body is responding to different changes. So that I hope that kind of gives you that example of what happens. Now, someone that's coming from sea level, obviously there is your typical 3-week, 21-day period of acclimation. So if you've been here already, then you're going to have that acclimation period. You're going to have that exposure. So it doesn't hurt us. Now, if someone is coming, when we hosted conference, well, there was no acclimation period for the rest of the Lone Star Conference, because the highest one I think is at Eastern or West Texas, and they're at maybe 34,000 or 3,400 feet.
Mhm.
So, but then you have Dallas Baptist, you have Kingsville that are really low.
Yeah.
So they're, they're going to be suffering because we'll get into a whole different other equation on VO2s and things that occur at sea level and altitude. But just to kind of give you that little example of the oxygen molecules and how they're compressed. If you drop down, you have a water bottle sometimes. Take a sip, and you're leaving Silver City, and then you get to Deming, and then all of a sudden you open it up. It sounds like
Carbonated?
because it it starts the oxygen molecules start expanding, so it has that little one.
So there's less room for marshmallows.
Mhm.
in
Yeah,
the
and they
bottle.
just
Okay.
they just get crunched in. So again, the oxygen molecule percentage in the atmosphere still remains the same. Except it's just compressed, and that's kind of to help animate that. I use marshmallows as an example.
Well, I appreciate you doing that, because I wouldn't have understood if you
Yeah.
didn't say marshmallows, or shoe boxes, or water bottles. Thank
Yeah.
you for dumbing it down, I appreciate it. So,
Get anything?
yeah, I'm just fascinated about the whole, like, altitude thing, I just can't stop thinking about it. So wait, one more question and we'll go on.
Sure.
So when teams come and play or run conference here, is there a recognized percentage that, like, a performance that they're lacking or not meeting a standard because of the altitude? I mean, like you said, there's a 3-week period where you kind of get adjusted to it. They don't have the luxury of doing that. Like, how is a performance, like, how is it?
One of those things that you can do as a coach to help understand that. One, if I'm what can you do depending on which sports you're coming in, right? If you're basketball, well, heck, you might just who you're playing. You might just run and substitute as many as you can, because you're going to wear them down
Sure.
so much sooner. So could there be some tactics? Now, if we have someone that's coming in from when we were in the RMAC and we hosted conference, well, you had Western State and Adams. They're higher than us, so and also they were 1 and 2 in the country. So yeah, there wasn't a whole lot you could do to them.
Yeah.
But yeah, there is a certain percentage that's just the physiology of what occurs. There's unless now someone that has been a native to altitude, it's somewhere in there.
Mhm.
That acclimation period is that much quicker, to quicker being it's not the 3 weeks, sometimes it's 10 days, and they start feeling a little bit better. You could test all this, because you could get in the lab and do the metabolic VO2, get blood samples, and you could do that. That costs a lot of money,
Sure.
time, but you could see that in practice. I mean, that's very simple when you monitor. You have a consistent distance of 400 meters, mile repeats. So then that variable stays constant, and your time stays. That's the only thing that changes. So you could do that.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, we could continue on that. That's
Just all day, man.
You picked my
Yeah,
field,
yeah.
and
I
like I was
can
telling
tell.
Coach, and we were talking earlier about Ball State, and that's where the one of the big exercise physiologists in our country, that's where he was at. So hopefully his dad knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Well, everyone knows Muncie is the home of innovation, so.
Yeah.
So you got, after regionals, that would be the nationals, correct?
Correct. Yeah, there is certain ways of qualifying. It's kind of complicated, because there's individuals that qualify, automatic qualifiers. There's teams that automatic qualifiers, and then there's at-large individuals and teams. So we have one of the strongest region, because it's the combination of the Lone Star and the RMAC, and we probably have 7 nationally ranked teams in our conference. But not only are they the 7 ranked, they're like there's probably 6 of them in the top 10. So we get more at large from our region. So and then individuals. So it's the equation's a little bit complicated. You know, individuals, if top two, they're not on a non-qualifying team. So one thing is you just keep hammering away, especially if you have someone that could be in that mix, because you could come in 20th place and still get, because if Adams or School of Mines, you know, takes the top X amount of spaces, well, those teams get out of that equation because they're already at a qualifying team. So then you get the ones that are on the non-qualifying teams. Yeah, and then there's some at-large team individuals and teams. So it's better just to, if you're on the bubble, just to wait till Monday when when that large teams get announced. Yeah.
So then who do you think individually has a good shot at getting to nationals this year?
It's hard to, you know, a lot of factors have to be in. You know, I don't know. It's just one of those, you know. You like to say we can. I say that we can't. I'd like to say that we have a possibility, but many factors have to play into that. But that's what we go into. You know, number one is to you know, try to get in the top 10 if possible, and then if that happens, then you know, keep pressing to see, you know, our top two could run with some solid individuals up there. The ones that are that won the RMAC, you know, those guys, you know, I always said when we were in the RMAC, whoever wins the RMAC, when you win a conference championship, you're also winning in the RMAC, you're also winning the national championship, because it has come out of there so many times, give or take Grand Valley State that has, you know, popped in there once in a while, but other than that, you know, the national champions have come out of the RMAC in the past 30 years, if not more. So it's very, very competitive, but the encouragement is we have more at-large individuals and we have more at-large team selections. So you know, a lot of factors have to go into that equation, but you know, we just keep hammering away and keep the fire going.
I feel like of the teams I know in the RMAC, the ones that are the best cross-country teams, the track teams, the best facilities. Like Western Colorado facilities, it's just next level. Mines is next level. Grand Valley is in the RMAC, but the facility, the indoors, just like, just gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
How much does that play a part of success?
It is, but it wasn't easy. If you look at Adams State, they had Coach Beagle that coached there for the longest time. He was the first coach in any NCAA Division I or Division II to score a perfect 15.
Really?
He did that when the first year that they came into the NCAA, I think it was in '92. That's perfection. That's getting 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 at the national meet. And what's even more impressive, their pack time from number 1 to number 5 was 6 seconds.
Wow.
What did they do? I pick his brain when I can, and you know, he has his book, and something that was very interesting was the year before they knew they had a good team, but they wanted to make it special. So the team said, "Coach, what can we do to make this team special?" And he thought for a second. He said, "Well, damn it! If you can't touch your teammate, you're running too far." So that was the thing. When you saw them run, they were just all in a pack, and to see that dominance at a national meet, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, perfection. That may never be replicated again in any NCAA Division I, 2, or 3.
And what year was that?
I think that was in '92. That was the first, because they were NAIA for the longest time, and then that was the first year that they came into the
first year.
Yeah, that they went into the NCAA, and they just came in with the splash.
And then since then, they've been a historically good program.
Yeah, well, even in the past, you know, when NAIA was such a big, you know, very competitive with the NCAA system. You know, obviously except the D1, your traditional conferences, but other than that, you know, it was just to give you an example how strong NAIA used to be, Arkansas for the longest time was, there at Fayetteville, they were, one of the top programs in the country. That year they were ranked #1, and here was, Lubbock Christian, I think it was Lubbock Christian, NAIA, and, they went and they beat, Arkansas at their home meet. So, you know, I knew a few of those runners back, that was kind of my era, and, they're all like, yeah, they were, you know, they almost didn't let us in. Here's this little small school went and, you know, beat their #1 ranked.
Wow.
So that's just how competitive, the NAIA, many schools have shifted now to the NCAA for whatever reason, I don't know. But it's, you know, now, NCAA is just, you know, even at the D2 level is very solid. They're very, very, strong. So facilities, talking to Coach Vigil at the time, it took him, you know, some years to get to where he was. It wasn't, you know, that program kind of fell in his hands by starting something new, because he was coaching football, and, you know, they presented to him, do you want to do this? But he was a learner, and going to some of his presentations, of when he's presenting in, some distance, symposiums, one time I witnessed where he got up in the middle of the conference, and he's all, you know, sorry for interrupting here. I go, I'm 85 years old, I have a PhD, you know, learner of this. I learned something today. And he looks back at all the coaches that are there. So you could always learn something. It doesn't matter what age you're in. And I've always thought about that, because our sport, I think every sport is a science, and we have to be, because there's always innovation, there's always new products, there's always this, and that takes technology, that takes science with you know, helmets in football, pitches, swings, you know, in track and field. Well, we have so many components that have physics into it. That's all science. We're trying to propel an object as far as we can, but we have external factors, wind, temperatures, things like that. So there's new materials that always come out. So just being knowledgeable and catching up on those things, you know, you progress.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good
Yeah.
too, man. Thanks for coming on. This is
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
I learned a lot.
I learned way too much. I don't know what to do with all this information.
Yeah. But it's interesting, man. That's what someone like Coach Vigil, when you hear him talk, you just get up and you're ready to let's go break some world records, because that's what he does. You know, every coach wants to emulate something of that, and at least grab something of what his legacy has done. And you know, he's getting up there in age, and that's just one. There's many. That's just one from, you know, that's you always think that they're somewhere else, but they're right here. One quick, Pat Henry, we're talking about powerful coaches. Pat Henry, which is one of the most winningest Division I coaches in cross country and track and field, something over 30 NCAA championships. He got his master's here at Western New Mexico.
Nice.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah, and they gave him, awarded him a honorary doctorate degree, maybe 10, 12 years ago.
Sweet.
Yeah, so, I think it was before, Dr. Shepard was here, so it had to have been, more than 10. But, yeah, you know, who would have thought, you know, over 30 NCAA championships, that's.
Yeah. Good for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's impressive.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, we'll be right back after this quick message from our Mustang.
matter what type of vehicle you're looking for. Hatch Toyota State Line, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram of Silver City has the vehicle that will fit you.
We're joined here today by the men's assistant basketball coach, Coach Drake. Coach Drake, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well, thanks, Jack and Jake.
So, we got the conference crossover coming up this weekend. You guys start off the season with Westminster. What are you looking forward to this weekend?
Just looking forward to the guys getting off to a good start. We've had an opportunity the last few weeks to use practice to have an opportunity to grow. We had an exhibition game last week against New Mexico State. The guys had an opportunity to come and give a good showing against a team that's really, really good. And we'll have an opportunity to make a chance at the NCAA tournament at Division I level. So I want to continue on and build on what we did last week and have an opportunity to come out with some success and have 2 wins this weekend.
With that, yeah, I was there at your New Mexico State game. They looked really good. They were only down about 11 when there was 3 minutes to go before New Mexico State put on a barrage of threes.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. What we tell the guys, we got to have an opportunity to play in 4-minute spurts. And the last 4 minutes of the game are very important. We just got to continue to grow. We had an opportunity to play very well at the beginning of the game. A couple things that we have to tweak and continue to grow as a team with, but I believe they played very well throughout the duration of the game.
Yeah, it looked like from the beginning, Keith kind of took over and he kind of just like controlled the game for you guys. Yeah. And then Josh came in, hit some big threes, and really put you guys on a run.
Yeah, he did. We've got a good mixture of great kids. We've got a good group of returners that have some veteran maturity, and then we have a good group of transfers that come in with some electrifying talent to continue to allow us to be successful.
Is there a player that surprised you this game against New Mexico State?
I would say Keith and Josh both. Keith has been continuing to grow since we've been here. I think he's one of the young men that can be very, very special for our program, but he's grown leaps and bounds over the last 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And to see him put it all together in a game that close, that early, was very special. And then Josh, he's just Mighty Mouse, you know. You don't expect him to be as successful as he is out there with all those giants, but he somehow finds a way to get it done.
Yeah, and I'm a little out of touch with the basketball program right now. Are they transfers? Are they freshmen? What are they?
Well, which ones?
The 2 you mentioned.
Keith is a transfer. He's a grad transfer from FAMU.
Okay.
Played at FAMU last year, transferred here after graduating, and then Josh is actually a returner from last year.
Gotcha.
But he transferred from University of Arkansas Pine Bluff the previous season.
Gotcha. Okay. And my next question is going to be, who do you look forward to the most seeing like progress throughout the season? Is it the same answer or is it somebody else?
It's actually a mixture of them. There's about 6 or 7 young men that have extremely high ceilings. That they don't know themselves. They haven't even scratched the surface yet. I would say one of the guys that I'm extremely excited to see progress is Ola. I believe if Ola does what he needs to do and grows the way he needs to grow this year, he's got an opportunity to be a high-level pro. Not just a guy that can go overseas and play basketball for a few years, but have a long overseas career or give himself an opportunity to be an NBA prospect.
That's awesome. So, who's this cat walking around who's like 6'9", like ducking going in the doorways? Like, what's his deal?
That's Ola.
Oh, that's
Ola right there
okay,
for you. Like,
right.
he's 6'9", but he's got all the tools in the toolbox that you need. He can hit the open jump shot occasionally if you need him to. He has the ability to rip through, put the ball on the floor, and go create a shot for himself by getting him to 2 feet, finishing above the rim. And he has great length and athletic ability to be able to defend on the defensive end of the floor and grab as many rebounds as possible.
No, he sounds like a transfer.
He's actually a returner as well.
Really?
But he was originally at Youngstown State, so he originally was D1.
Okay.
Yep, he was at Youngstown State, I believe 2 seasons ago, but that's what I said, like, if he does put it all together, he could be very special. All of these guys have not had an opportunity to come out of their box yet. Of course, a lot of them, with Coach Zane being a new coach here 3 years ago and then getting him during the COVID season and then all the guys that are transfers now, it's kind of hard for them to be able to grow and get to the place that they have the ability of getting to in those times.
Gotcha. Okay. Now, where did you play?
I played at 2 different schools. I played at Robert Morris University in Chicago, Illinois, NAIA school. We were actually the #1 team in the country my 2 seasons there. We went to the national championship tournament of the NAIA, and my first year we went to the Final Four. My second year we went to the Elite 8.
Wow.
And then I ended up transferring to Southern University in New Orleans and finishing off there and had an opportunity to be very successful there and then go on to play professional basketball, semi-pro, for about 3 or 4 years before tearing my Achilles tendon.
Okay, so from player to now coach, are you more offensively minded or defense?
I think I'm a little bit of both. I really enjoy being here with Coach Zay, and I believe that what him and I have similar is a cheat code that both of our parents, both of our fathers were Division I coaches.
Gotcha.
His was a Division I coach for, I believe, 20 plus years in Chattanooga, and then mine was a Division I coach for 35 plus years at multiple different colleges across the country, Ball State University, Central Michigan as a head coach, Lamar University as an assistant coach, and then over to the women's side as the head coach, and then finishing off at Eastern Michigan as a women's assistant coach. So I think because I have that experience of being able to be involved on the backside of the game early on as a kid, I think I enjoy both sides of it. It just kind of depends on what my role is, which one I jump into. Here at Eastern, here at Western, I'm over the here at Western, I'm over the defensive side and player development. But overall, I've had an opportunity to have an aspect in everything.
Yeah, for sure.
So when you were the men's basketball coach for Southeastern Illinois College,
Yep.
you did something very impressive. When you came in, the team's GPA was a 1.1.
Yeah.
And by the time you left, it was a 2.87.
Oh.
So that's pretty impressive how high you got it.
Yeah,
What does
yeah.
that mean to you that you got a team who was really probably super skilled on the basketball court,
Mhm.
but really bad academically to become actually put the student part forward and student athlete?
It's actually something I preach. I like to say that I come from an educator's home. My dad being a higher educating coach at the college level. My mother, she was a teacher from preschool all the way to the college level her entire adult life. So education comes first for me. I have a master's degree currently, and I hopefully intend to pursue a doctorate at some point. But I believe as coaches, we are walking billboards for our athletes. They don't necessarily do what we say, they do what we do. And so if I give myself an opportunity to really dig deep on the educated side, it gives us an opportunity to do the same thing for our players. I don't even like to call our athletes student athletes. I like to call them academic athletes because we all know a student who doesn't take his books very serious. You know, there's no such thing as a student scholarship. There's an academic scholarship and there's an athletic scholarship. So I like to tell my athletes we want to hold ourselves to the standard of academic athletes so that we can hold ourselves to the ability of getting academic scholarships.
It's a good philosophy to preach.
All right, so you said player development's a big part of it. You've had some very impressive track record with developing players. Most recently, you had the San Antonio Spurs 2022 first round pick, Blake Wesley.
did.
So you've had him, you've had Bryson Warren on Overtime Elite, Michi Johnson at Ohio State, just to name a few.
Yeah.
So what does it mean seeing guys like that exceed at the next level?
I think for me, I like to see him succeed at being a pro overall. And when I say pro overall, I want our guys to be pro fathers, pro men, professional business partners. Give our young men an opportunity to be successful in every endeavor that they walk into. So to see some young men that I invested in on the personal side of life have some success on the court as well at the highest level is extremely exciting. Blake, I actually saw Blake being an NBA player when I first stepped on the floor with him. Very first day I worked Blake out, his sophomore season at Rawhide High School, I knew immediately he was going to be an NBA basketball player. I didn't know how soon it was going to be. I didn't know how high he was going to get drafted, but for him to go to Notre Dame, be a freshman and get drafted in the first round, number 25, is amazing. And I believe the same thing is going to happen for Bryson as well. He went a different route, Overtime Elite, which he's not going to have the opportunity to go to college, but he still has to sit that 1 year after technically graduating high school to have the ability to be a pro. But right now they're saying he could be a first rounder, top 5, top 10 pick.
Yeah, I think the Overtime Elite's like a really good league. I've seen a couple of their games. I think it's just a cool thing for kids that they don't want to take the college route, but they want to keep playing. So instead of doing what some of the guys, like I think it was Terrence Ferguson who took the whole year off just to train, you just go play Overtime Elite with a bunch of the other top prospects and all that.
Yep. No, it's a great opportunity. It's going to continue to evolve year after year. When Bryson signed up for it last year, they only signed guys that were pros. So you had to sign with an agency. You had to forego your college eligibility, but This year it has evolved where it's twofold. You have guys that are pros, and then you have guys that are on scholarship. And the guys that are on scholarship didn't forego their college eligibility. They just can't get paid. And so they'll play for Overtime Elite this year, and then they'll end up going back to college. Like just now, with Donda shutting down, Rob Dillingham transferred to Overtime Elite, and he's actually already signed to go play at Kentucky. It's a mixture of high-level talent.
Like I said, I've seen a couple games. They're fun games to watch.
Yeah, and they're trying to do a little bit of the things that you see with the TBT tournament, where they kind of make up some of their own rules to kind of make the game faster. One of the ones that they just implemented is as long as it's a dead ball on the baseline, say the ball goes out of bounds on the baseline, they don't have to give the ball to the referee in order to get it back in bounds. They can just get it and then throw it in bounds.
That's a great rule.
I actually love that rule.
That's a great rule.
It allows the game to go faster.
Yeah, momentum. You can always do momentum, give the ball to the ref. He can take his time and make
Yep.
everyone like, man, just go.
Just go.
Oh, good for them. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
When you're on defense, it kind of sucks. You got to be ready.
You gotta be
But
ready.
offensively, it's just
Yeah.
perfect. It can go right out and just grab it right away, throw it right under the hoop, and there's a dude there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, that's
Yep.
awesome.
I think it has to be going the opposite direction.
Oh,
I don't think it can be right
So a
under
turnover?
the rim. It's
okay.
got to be a
Yeah,
turnover,
gotcha.
and you're going in transition.
I still
to
like
take
that,
it
yeah.
out. 'Cause, yeah, it just keeps games faster.
Yeah, because you see it like all the NBA guys. They're kind of sitting there like trying to get the ball as fast as they can to just go,
Yeah.
and the refs kind of just like holding it.
Yeah. I think it's a great opportunity for them.
Yeah. So switching topics real quick, what was a team or a player that you kind of idolized growing up and like really paid attention to?
Again, I would have to say it's my father.
Okay.
It's funny how small the basketball world is. And you guys being in sports, you know how small your sport is. And everywhere I go, I run into somebody who knew my father.
Really?
Just a second ago,
Yeah.
Coach
Yeah.
talking about Ball State. Like, I remember legitimately moving to South Bend, Indiana, my senior year of high school, and I sat down in the barbershop and sitting down getting my hair cut. Guys start talking about who the best player is to ever play in that area. They're talking about high school kids that are currently there at that time, and guys that played a little bit older than me. And one man just turns to everybody and says, "You guys are crazy if Leonard Drake is not the best player to ever play in this area." And I turned and Leonard Drake, and I listened for a little while longer, like it's got to be a different Leonard Drake. There's no way they're talking about my father. I just moved up here literally 2 days ago, but legitimately they were talking about my dad. So I said, "You guys know that's my dad?" And the guy was like, "No, it's not." I pulled out my driver's license and he saw that my middle name is Leonard. And he was like, "Wow, we've got a legend son here." So they started telling me stories. My dad's been inducted into multiple Hall of Fames, high school and college, as a player and a coach. But he is currently, I just got inducted maybe about a month and a half ago as the all-time leading scorer and best player in the history of Southwest Michigan area. And people tell me stories all the time of he would score 60 and 65 points without a three-point line, but 50% of his shots were behind the distance of what a three would have been. So they're like, he probably would have scored 80, 90 points a game if they would have had a three-point line back then. And to me, it sounds far-fetched, but you hear the story so much, it's like, wow. And so as a kid, all I saw was pictures. I remember maybe once or twice playing at the park and him playing with me and knowing like, he's got it. Like, this man's 40 years old. He's playing as slow as possible and he can't be stopped.
Yeah.
Like, he's got it. Like, this is who I want to be like.
I feel like there's a certain, I don't want to say royalty, but I almost kind of want to do with basketball coaches who've been successful versus football coaches who've been successful. Like, I'm from the East Coast, and basketball coaches, like, their names like echo in the hallways,
They do.
and the courts, and like when someone walks in a gym, like you know someone important just entered.
Yeah.
Like it's like a certain aura about a successful basketball coach.
Yep.
It's very different from other sport we've seen.
Yeah.
Because basketball, in my opinion, is the hardest sport to be good at.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah,
I agree too.
because half the football positions you have to run through somebody,
Yep.
which I'm not discrediting. I would never do that. I'm a punter, but like basketball is an art, no matter what position you're at.
Yep.
And coaching that art is just, I can't comprehend it on that level.
Yep.
So
No, I agree. It's funny you say that. I'm kind of going to stay on that same path, but switch gears. I say the same thing when I talk to a young man about life. Sports is so relatable to life, but I think basketball is the most relatable because if you think about it, baseball and softball, the defense and the offense coming off and on the field at opposite times. It's the same thing with football. They come off and on the field at opposite times. In football, after every possession, except for a rushed huddle situation, you have an opportunity to sit, look at your coach, understand what you're going to do next, regroup, and then go out and attack. With basketball, the minute you turn the ball over, you've got to turn around, you got to play defense.
I know.
Right now. You shoot a basketball, you miss, you got to turn around and play defense. And that's how life is. I lose this job today, I've got to be able to do something tomorrow. I end up making a mistake today, I've got to figure out how to fix it right now. My lights get cut off and I have children, I can't waddle in it. I've got to figure out a way to make sure that things are provided for my family. And I try to get my young men to understand that it's the same thing in life as it is in basketball. If you can excel at this moment in time in life where all you have to do is really focus on the game of basketball, you give yourself an opportunity to be successful in life because you understand how to keep rolling with the punches.
Sure. Actually, on the way up there, as I walked in, I was talking to Matt about there's like a certain divide on the football team right now, like offense versus defense. Like obviously, because turn the ball over, the offense, screw up again.
Yeah.
But basketball, there is no division.
Yeah.
Because every single person plays both sides of the ball.
Yep.
And there's no like you said, there's no huddle, there's no break, there's no timeouts really, there's no meaty timeout that is long in football. Like you're in the moment, whether you like it or not.
Yep.
And that's what I love about it.
Yep.
I love it.
Yep. No, I agree 100%.
I just lost my question. Give me a sec.
Well, I got a question. All
Go
right.
for it.
Very off topic, but not off topic.
Okay.
You get 5 NBA players to make a team. You can't use Jordan, LeBron, Kobe, Magic, or Bird.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I like this already.
Okay.
You take the 5 out. Who do you got?
Okay.
I'll pick my 5. You pick your 5. You pick your 5.
Okay.
I mean, I have mine ready to roll.
Give me the 5 I can't use again. Jordan,
Yeah.
LeBron, Bird, Magic,
And
Kobe.
and Kobe.
You can't use arguably the top 5 skilled.
Okay. Well, of course, I'm going to go with Hakeem Olajuwon.
Okay.
I'm going to go with Dr. J.
Okay.
Like it.
I think I'm going to go with Tony Parker at the point guard.
Whoa.
That's
I didn't expect that.
I didn't expect that either.
Didn't expect
I was
Parker
with,
at the point guard.
Okay. Okay.
Let's see. At the 2, I think I'm going to go with Jesus Shuttlesworth.
That's definitely
You
fair.
know, Ray
Yeah, I
Allen.
like it.
I need a 5.
And I need a 5. Let's see. Giannis.
Really?
I like that pick actually.
That's not bad. You got your 5.
Why don't you go? I want to hear yours first.
Isaiah Thomas, Bad Boys.
Okay.
Steph Curry, statistically.
Okay.
Scottie Pippen.
There you go.
And then I'm taking the big boys down low. I'm taking Wilt and Shaq.
There you go. There you go.
It's a tough team to beat.
Yeah, it is.
Tony Parker threw me off.
Yeah.
I'm thinking if I made the right choice or not. You know what you got?
I think I got a good idea.
All right.
So, my 1 is gonna be Steph.
Okay.
Okay.
He's always been one of my least favorite players. I love the way he plays. He killed my team. So
Least
so I
favorite player first off the board for you.
He's just
So
not good.
loyal.
Well, think about it. He's unguardable.
No. Statistically, he's up there.
He is.
So I'm gonna put Durant just because of his scoring ability, and he's
Sure.
got that versatile defense.
No, he's
He is.
Yeah.
Trust me, he
I know,
is.
I know.
Let's see. I think I like Shaq at the center just because that's that dominant force, and that can make up for Curry's lack of defense.
There you go.
Because I gotta figure out that, and then I kind of like D Wade at the 2. Kind of like a mid range. He kind of got the 3 ball at the end of his career, but I think his defense was always there. So he,
That's just a well-rounded player.
yeah,
for
that's
sure.
why
It's
he.
about as well-rounded as you get.
For sure.
I'm just trying to get guys that can defensively make up for Steph's lack of
Sure.
defense.
Sure, and you get either 4.
Yeah, I know, I need 4.
The 4 and the 3 are the hardest for me.
Yeah, see, I wanted to put Giannis at the 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to put Hakeem at the 5,
Yeah.
Giannis at the 4.
Hakeem is the one I struggle with constantly because I love Wilt and his presence in the court was just so unheard of. It was such a weird time for basketball.
Mhm.
But Hakeem, man, that's a dangerous player.
Yeah.
And the 4 I'm gonna go with, because I want to see him play with Steph, would be Tim Duncan.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Because like
Oh,
you see how Draymond passes around with Steph,
Yeah.
and I just think how fundamental Tim Duncan was. Those passes would be 10 times better.
Yeah. Tim Duncan is the Toyota Camry of basketball players.
Oh, for
Reliable,
sure.
gonna get you where you need to go, then do his job.
He actually played with a guy from my hometown in college at Wake Forest.
Really?
Yeah, we
From-
had it.
From your hometown?
Yes, from my hometown,
Little
Little Girard, Pennsylvania. Yeah.
wow.
His name was Mark Balukas. He took us to our only 2 state titles
Oh, wow.
that we had. He didn't play till his senior year
Mm.
at Wake Forest, but he was a lights out shooter. And now he's one of the top actors on the Hallmark Channel.
Oh, wow.
Good for him. What What a career.
So he never played at Wake Forest at all. Wasn't on the team until his senior year.
Well, he was on the team like every year.
Oh, just didn't get any playing
Yeah,
time.
he just didn't get any playing time. He was at that, like in the 90s,
Yeah.
6'5", in high school, you're big.
Yeah.
And I remember my uncle would tell me stories because my uncle was about 5 years older than him. And my uncle played D3 basketball for 2 years.
Gotcha.
His senior year, he didn't have he was going to Wake Forest, but he didn't quite have the guard skills. So him, my uncle, and my old basketball coach, they'd go into the gym like every day and they would just force him into guard skills.
Gotcha.
Do everything but, being a big man, because 6'5", you're a big man in high school for the most part,
Sure.
unless you play at IMG.
Yeah, for sure. And that's a hard transition. Mine was similar. I've actually been this height since the 8th grade. And so 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, everybody's like, oh, he's going to be 6'5", he's going to the NBA. So, but my dad, being as experienced as he was his entire life, was like, you're going to stop growing at some point. So I'm going to teach you to shoot the basketball. So if you do get big, you can have the ability to shoot. And then we'll give you some simple ball handling drills to be able to make sure that you can handle the ball if you turn into being a wing. He didn't think I was going to be small enough to be a guard. He thought I would be a wing. And then by the time I got to about my junior year of college, it really started turning into where I was going to play the one. Through high school, it kind of slow transition forward. By the time I was a senior, it was a 2. Freshman year, I was a 2. And then going into that sophomore season is when I really turned into being a point guard.
So if you had to pick, I won't do the whole 5 again, but I did do the whole 5 of all the college players, I went from just 2000 to now. So tough to do, by the way.
Yeah.
But if there's a college point guard that you could, pick as, let's say 2000s to now.
College point guard that I would pick.
Isn't that a tough question?
I already got mine.
Of course you do. But I probably know who yours is. Give me 3 guesses. Hold on. Kyrie.
No.
Well, what conference?
Big East.
I think I know him too.
Dude.
He's one of the greatest college point guards I've ever seen. And he's killing it right now in the NBA.
Oh, shoot, man.
Oh.
Yeah, that threw me off too, because I thought it was an older
I thought it was an older guy. I thought you were talking about
He
Johnny
was-
Flynn or somebody.
No, not Johnny Flynn. No, I mean, he was older. I think he stayed at Villanova for 3 years before he left.
Guy that won the championships.
Yeah.
Wait, recently?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, what's his face?
I know who he's talking about.
Yeah. What's his name?
Jalen Brunson.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah, dude, come
Yeah.
on, man. There's way better point guards.
Yeah. I mean, he's good though.
No, for sure.
No,
Yeah.
I agree. There probably is, but he's the one that just popped in my head right
Yeah.
away.
No,
Yeah.
that's a fine answer. I just think it's wrong.
Yeah, and it's, you have to look at it for what it is. And in his time as college, he's a little bit different than he is in a pro. Because you asked me that question and multiple names fly through my head. Like college,
Mhm.
when he was in college, probably De'Aaron Fox.
Yeah.
He was good.
You know what I mean?
De'Aaron
When he
Fox
was in
good.
college,
Yeah.
De'Aaron Fox.
Yeah.
NBA, De'Aaron Fox.
I mean, you can say
not
anything about
so much.
Colin Sexton.
Yeah, same
Alabama
thing.
Colin Sexton
Oh,
was
my
different,
thing.
a different animal.
He was better than Trae Young, I felt, in
Yeah,
college.
he was.
Yeah, he was. Remember the game where he played and they only had 3
Yep.
players in the game?
I watched that game live. That was crazy.
Wait, what they play?
Colin Sexton,
I think it was
Alabama
Minnesota.
played.
Was it in Minnesota?
It might have been
I
Minnesota.
do remember that.
Everybody on his team fouled out but 2 guys.
Well, they got
And
ejected.
Got ejected.
The whole bench got ejected, so there was 5 guys left, and 2 of them, one got hurt and the other fouled out.
Yep.
So it was a 5-on-3, and Colin Sexton's getting guarded by 3
Oh,
guys,
that's
and he's
right.
still
And
scoring.
didn't he hold his own?
Yeah, he's still scoring on them now.
like 30-something points,
Dude.
keeping the game close.
Yes, but NBA wise, it didn't really translate that well.
Yeah.
He started to translate last year, and then he
Yeah,
got hurt.
it got better, but when he first got there, it was he's the only one on the Cleveland
Yeah.
Cavaliers. He's not doing much, and he's the only one there pretty much. So
Now he's on Utah, and he's got a shot to be 6th man of the year most likely,
Yeah.
unless they trade Conley or Clarkson.
Yeah.
there was so many college point guards that never panned out. What was that dude
Yep.
from Washington? Markelle Fultz.
Markelle Fultz.
And
He just
then
keeps getting hurt.
Keeps getting
another
hurt.
dude from Washington. The Spurs. Shoot. Murray?
Jamal Murray.
Yeah. No, not Jamal Murray.
No.
Shoot, what's his name? You know what I'm talking about? DeJounte Murray?
DeJounte
He's
Murray.
panning out though. He's on
Yeah.
the Hawks.
Is he?
Yeah,
He's
he's
on the
He
Hawks.
was a stud.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
actually doing
Last
better
year-
now.
Last year he broke out as an all-star.
Mhm.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah, so he came with big trade value, so the Spurs dealt him so they could rebuild.
Mm.
Yep, I think the Spurs are gonna be good again soon.
Another decent one was, he only played 1 year, but like Tyus Jones was a good college point guard.
Oh,
First 1 year.
He was.
I forgot about him, dude. Honestly, everybody comes.
He's a great-
Yeah.
He's a great back.
Yeah.
You had what is it, Archie Diacono from Villanova?
Oh, the white boy.
Yeah,
Yep.
the one that handed it off to Chris Jenkins for the
My friend
championship.
was on that team. My really good friend was on that team. He won 2 rings. Didn't play a
Really?
single minute. Good for him.
Great for him.
Yeah.
I think some other good ones. And like right now, you got Marcus Carr. I think is really good guard.
Yeah, you gotta pay attention to Michi
Oh,
over there
yeah.
in South Carolina. He's gonna do something special.
Did he just transfer to South Carolina?
Yeah, he's in South Carolina now. This will be his first year there. I think he'll do a lot better there. Just being at home is a little different. You guys know how it is.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Being at home, the expectation of being at home, and too many things to do for distraction, family. Everybody wants your time. Him being in South Carolina, I mean, he's put on maybe 15, 20 pounds of muscle
Really?
since he's been there.
Good for him.
I think he's gonna be very special for him this year.
So Marcus Page was another good one.
Let's go shooting guards.
Shooting.
I know.
Currently in college.
Let's go from 2000s to now. Like, I know it's a big range, but I mean, I know who I got.
Who you got?
Who do you think I got?
How many guesses I get?
You get 2 guesses.
Is it Power 6 conference?
No, they're always on the brink of being the Power 5. They always play Power 5 teams.
So like Gonzaga then?
No, okay, it's Jimmy Fredette.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I was waiting. That's what I was gonna
That's
pick.
tough to argue against.
Yeah,
man.
I can't argue against
He
that.
was pulled up from half court every time. Man.
Every single time.
I mean, that's like
Yeah.
unheard of.
And then tore the TBT up while
Wow.
he was playing in that as well.
That was crazy.
And you know who's next on my list though is Mario Chalmers.
There you go.
He was good. I used to in high school watch like just they had like certain things on YouTube block, but I found a way to get around it. So I just sit there in my history class and watch old March Madness games, and
Gotcha.
he was cold.
For sure. Yeah.
I thought Buddy Hield was a good
I was
one.
gonna say Buddy Hield,
Buddy
Trey Young, man. When they played each other that one game and both had like 50.
Yeah.
Remember that? Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
Stupid.
But what's the best basketball game in college you've ever seen? Whether it's on TV or in person.
I mean, it might be that one I just mentioned.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Mine was the Syracuse UConn game that went to quadruple overtime.
I remember seeing the highlights of that the next
Oh
day
my
because I couldn't.
goodness.
I was so young. My parents were like, "You gotta go
Wait,
to
what
bed."
year was that? Is that Kemba?
2007.
Yeah, that was Kemba.
Oh,
Yeah, it was Kemba
yeah.
Walker,
That was
Johnny
like-
Flynn,
Yeah.
Hashim Thabit,
That's
Devendorf.
dude.
Devendorf's one of my best favorite players.
Yeah, that was a squad.
Oh yeah.
Honestly, Syracuse has had some of the some of the guys that didn't pan out, like Raheem Christmas. Do you remember that team
I do.
with
He was good.
Michael Carter Williams?
Yep.
Oh my
I do.
god, the whole Syracuse starting 5 and bench were all just NBA bound, but like I think one panned out or something.
Syracuse puts out some great talent. Shout out to
Yeah.
Coach Pace.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I forgot about that. So if we're going small forward, Melo's in my top
There
3.
you go.
And surprisingly enough,
Kevin
Michael
Durant.
Beasley is too. And
Oh.
Kevin. Michael Beasley was different in Kansas
For
State.
sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Michael Beasley right now is getting ready to tear up whoever he plays.
Yeah. What
I
is
think
he
he's going
doing?
to China.
Because he's been ready for like 8 years.
Yeah, I think he just got a contract in China. I
We
think
see
he
Dwight Howard just got one in Taiwan.
Really? I did not see that.
Dwight Howard yesterday signed with a team in Taiwan.
Oh wow. I did not see that.
Okay.
Small
Small
forward.
forward.
Small forward, Kevin Durant.
Oh yeah, and that's
Yeah.
tough to argue.
Yeah, Kevin
What do
Durant.
you play 1 year in Texas and average like 24 or something?
Yep.
Or maybe was it in the 30s maybe?
Nah, it was.
It was
It might
impressive.
have been like 29.
My so the coach, I went to Missouri Western for 3 years and played football.
Okay.
And the assistant coach there was the GA at Kentucky under Coach Calipari.
Coach Calipari is from Clarion University, which is only 2 hours from me, and they just named his court. They just named their court.
Calipari Court.
Calipari Court.
Yeah, so Missouri Western played Kentucky last week,
Really?
which is that's a different story. But his first job was to scout Kevin Durant.
Oh
at
wow.
Texas. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
See, so I have a personal relationship that is with Kevin because I didn't play with Kendrick. He was older than me, but I went to the same high school as Kendrick Perkins.
Oh.
So that relationship was there just because of Kendrick first. But then when I went on to play professionally, I played with Kevin's half brother, Cliff Dixon. Cliff actually got murdered maybe 5 years ago. Birthday party, ended up getting shot. But Cliff was actually a really, really good player. He played with me on the Lake Michigan Admirals team, and very similar to his brother, just about 2 inches shorter. But just had the same knack and IQ for the game, and because of that relationship with Cliff, Kevin probably will, for now on, be my favorite player.
Yeah.
Because I never had an opportunity to see him from the inside out.
Yeah.
You know.
So I'm from Baltimore, and
Gotcha.
Kevin's from PG County.
Yeah.
So like we all idolize him, and I still do. I do think he's a money first person, which I can't argue against. I really can't.
Yep.
But when he came out of college, he's one of my favorite players of all time.
Yeah.
Just because he was 6'10", like handling the ball.
Yeah.
Oh man, I love it. And then he only benched 185 like 3 times and didn't go one overall. Who
Yep.
won overall?
No, we went 2.
Yeah, but
he went
he
to.
wouldn't go one overall because he could only bench.
Yeah, Greg Oden was the
Greg
first
Oden.
pick.
Yeah, Greg.
Yeah.
Hey, but college players though, man.
Oh yeah.
Greg Oden's up there.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
one of my buddies, man. I actually had an opportunity to spend the entire Final Four with Greg Oden this
Really?
year. He and I coached together on Indy Heat EYBL team.
Mm-hmm.
About 3 summers ago. I just had built a relationship, and we went down to the Final Four this year together. And we thick as thieves.
Yeah.
We're there together, watched every single game, went to every event together. He's actually at Butler now as a grad assistant. Well, actually, he's not a grad assistant. He was a grad assistant at Ohio State. He's the director
I
of
do remember that.
player development and basketball operations
Good
at
for
Butler
him.
now. So,
Real quick. Speaking of Ohio State, I forgot a point guard. That
Mike Cunningham.
no.
Aaron Kraft?
Yes. Remember Aaron Kraft?
That
Aaron
dude,
remember when he
he
was
was a menace on defense.
Just tore up everybody
Yep.
for like 3 years straight.
Yep.
Oh my gosh! I remember watching Sean Miller's Arizona team.
Yeah.
In the Elite Eight, Nick Johnson.
Oh, that reminds me of another good point guard.
Okay, hold on.
TJ McConnell.
Yeah, Nick Johnson, McConnell, Gabe York, Tarzewski. They played Aaron Kraft. Aaron Kraft torched the entire team.
Entire team.
I've never seen like.
Yeah, no, Aaron Kraft is a dog.
Yeah, and that like Arizona team was like projected to probably win the whole thing if they got past Ohio State, and they just like Aaron Kraft was like, no,
Yeah.
this is my team. Sorry, like this little ass white boy, like just destroying. What's the Rondé Hollis Jefferson on that
Yep.
team?
Yeah, Rondé could
Aaron
stop.
Gordon's on that
Yeah.
team. Like everyone's on that team.
They had a really good center too.
Brandon Ashley,
Yep,
Tarzewski.
I remember him.
Yeah, man, that team was loaded, and they could not get past this 5'11" white boy.
Oh yeah, there's some of them out there
I
now.
know.
There's
I
some of
know.
them out there, man. They can really play. I've had an opportunity to see a lot of really extremely talented guys, man.
Yeah.
I can't think of the guy's name that I'm talking about right now. He played at Lamar University, but man, he could play. Matt Sunblad. You guys probably will never know
Yeah.
who Matt Sunblad is, but Matt Sunblad played for Lamar University and would tear up the entire
Really?
NCAA, the entire Division I league.
What year?
Let's see, Matt was there 2000 probably.
Yeah, I would have been way too young.
2000, 2001 year.
Yeah, I was 5 or 6. So
I was like 2.
we know. You know who else I really liked, but was kind of a selfish player, but still produced really good numbers, is Yogi Ferrell from Indiana.
Yep, he was. I remember watching him play. I watched Cassius Winston
Cassius Winston.
for Michigan State. I remember watching him against Penn State. That was cool.
That's the best game I went to. I was at Indiana. Yogi Ferrell, and it was the year after Oladipo left, so it was the
Romeo Langford.
yeah, it was like they had the first overall pick, the Stanham or whatever. No, that was Arizona. Vonleh? No, Vonleh.
No, Vonleh.
Yeah.
I know who you're talking about.
And they played Michigan State, Travis Trice, Denzel Valentine, and the big dude, the center they had.
I don't remember the center's name, but I can picture him.
But it was a tie game. No, Indiana was down 2.
Yeah.
Yogi went to the line with 0.3 seconds left, missed both free throws.
Wow.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's one of those experiences. Like,
Yeah.
So my dad, one of the things that they talk about in his Hall of Fame speeches and things like that, when he played at Central Michigan, he played against Georgetown, John Thompson's Georgetown team, and no time on the clock, hits 2 free throws to take his team to the Sweet 16 and beat Georgetown.
Wow.
No time on the clock.
And Georgetown was a force
Yeah.
back then.
Yep.
That was John. Oh man, that's
Yep.
crazy.
Yep. So
That's
I've had a chance to see a lot of it, man.
Yeah, I bet, dude. So do you still have the itch to play? Like,
I do.
I mean, I can't. So I like every time I'm near a basketball gym, I have to go in and shoot.
Yeah.
I can't not. Like I have to. And you're around it every day, holding the ball,
Every
coaching,
day.
like.
Every day. Yeah, so I just told the players today, this is the first year of my college coaching, not just my college coach career, but my coaching career period, where I have not played with my team. I normally run and stay in shape and lift, and I get out there and I run the drills and scrimmage with the guys and play one-on-ones. It just, the interview process this summer was so grueling for me that I literally took about 3 or 4 months off from working out. So this is the first year I've come into the season out of shape.
Really?
And one thing I know is you never play another man's game. So I'm not gonna step on the floor with a college athlete out of shape. Give him an opportunity to say, I'm better than coach. It's not gonna happen.
You send Jeremy out there at all to play against
Oh
them?
yeah, Jeremy will get out there. Jeremy will get out there and do some things on the scout team every once in a while. And coach put me on the scout team yesterday. I said, yeah, I think I'm gonna start running on the track every day for the next 3 weeks just in case.
Stay ready.
Have to.
All right, let's go back to the 5 real quick. College. I
Okay.
got the 5.
I never said my 3.
What?
We got off topic.
Did you say your 3? Did you say Kevin Durant?
Yeah, he said
Okay,
Durant.
okay.
I was torn between 3 guys. So
All right, let's hear him.
I have Jabari Parker.
Oh my God, Jabari Parker, Duke. Oh God, sorry. That he's one of my favorite college players.
Justin Jackson from North Carolina.
Okay.
I'm a huge Duke fan, so I don't like North Carolina, but he killed us all the
That's a
time.
sneaker.
Yeah,
That's a
it is.
sneaker.
And then Wayne Selden from Kansas.
You're very new era.
Yeah, he is.
I am.
I know.
Yeah, he is.
I paid
A lot
attention
younger
back
than
then,
us.
but
How old are you?
I'm 23.
That's no excuse. I respect your elders.
I'm trying.
That's a good list. Jabari Parker was.
He's 2014, so he's only 5 years after
He
Cade.
was a menace.
Yeah.
He was a menace.
Yeah, he
Dude.
is. I saw him play the other day in a league in Chicago.
Really? So he's done. Because he's had like 7 ACL tears or something.
Yeah,
like,
man, but he played the other day. It just looks so good.
Really?
I don't know. It's hard. Once you get hurt in the
I
league,
know.
you gotta get back in.
He was Zion before Zion came in the league.
Yep.
Yeah, he was.
I mean, he was 6, same build, 6'8", 40, had a 40 vertical. Couldn't really do much outside the rim or outside the perimeter, but he could get to the hole.
Yeah, he was like a streaky shooter.
Yeah.
I would say he was pretty streaky. If he was on, he was on. If he was off, he was probably airballing everything.
Yeah.
I know he needed to work on his defense coming in the league. Just that was it. And
Yeah.
those injuries, he just never got that thing.
Too heavy. Too heavy. Can't move laterally.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, 4s.
Okay. Your 4s in college.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm just gonna go mine Zion.
Yeah. There you go.
Nobody can stop him.
Yeah, because like, I would do this later. Here you go.
In college, a 4. You know, I'm gonna go Draymond.
Whoa. Okay.
That threw me off.
That's a good one.
I like it though.
Okay, so was Frank Kaminsky a 4 or 5?
I think he was a 4. He
Okay.
kind of subbed back and forth.
Yeah,
'cause
because he was kind
they
of.
had a 5 come off the bench.
Yeah, and Sam Dagger will probably play 4 sometimes
Yep.
too. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Frank Kaminsky.
That's
But-
a really good choice.
But my other 4 is also in the same team as my 5. Hear me out. Al Horford, Joakim.
Oh yeah, that was a force.
There you go.
Those were bad boys.
Yeah,
I
great,
think
great
I
choice.
think Joakim averaged a double in
No,
his
he
entire
did.
career.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
All right, 5s.
5's great. I'm gonna go
Yeah,
great.
That was a stupid question. Sorry.
Great.
Yep. Okay. Who do you got? What player from this year do you have?
This year.
Yeah, if you want, I can go this year and tell you
No.
Oscar Tshiebwe.
Okay, just give me a player that isn't there. Give me an older one. Come on, help me out.
Saying an older one, because I had a new. I'm trying to think of older ones. I'm trying to think of like back in the 2010s and all that.
Oh, we forgot Dwayne Wade at Marquette, by the way.
Oh,
I want you
yeah.
guys to
Yeah.
know that.
We did.
Okay. Sorry, keep going.
But like I can't like the two that keep popping in my head right now is Luka Garza from Iowa.
From
Iowa, yeah.
He is a
He was
5. He's
Four.
a 5. Wait, are
He
you
played both.
Are you on 4 or 5?
1-5.
Okay. Well,
I know he played
one. I don't know if you want
Yeah.
5 or 4 yet. Okay.
True. But like yeah, he played a little bit both, and I was kind of thinking Joel Embiid.
Yeah.
Embiid for when his back wasn't giving out was a dominant
for
force.
the 12 games he played in
Yeah.
Kansas.
Yeah, he didn't play a lot though.
Yeah.
No, he didn't. And they probably would have had a tournament shot that year because it was him and Wiggins that year.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot about Wiggins.
No, it's a lot out there,
Yeah,
man.
there's a ton.
It's a lot
There's
out
a
there,
ton.
man.
I had this conversation with my team last year, Missouri Western. It was like a 3-week conversation.
Really?
Yeah, like we all had to write them down. We all had to change them and everything. So.
If I had time to prepare, I could figure it out. Some older ones too.
Oh yeah, for sure. And the next time we have this conversation, I see you guys in the hallway, I'm gonna have a different one.
That's fine. That's fine.
I probably will too.
I'm going to as well. It's totally fine. So. I'm gonna do. We can do this all day.
Yeah, we can.
I could literally sit here all day and talk about college basketball.
So could I.
Yeah.
We can for sure. You guys can have me back anytime.
Yeah, man, we're about to.
Who's your 5?
My what?
You're 5.
Your 5.
I said, was it Alfred?
Yeah, you said
Oh, yeah.
Al Horford.
I was making sure you're sticking with Noah /
And when
Horford.
you said that, it made me think of another duel, and their names are stuck on my tongue, and I can't say their
What
names
team?
right now. But Gonzaga's Twin Towers that they had a couple years ago.
Oh, Zach Collins.
There you go.
Yeah.
Zach Collins.
And what was the other one?
I don't know, but they were.
They had Sabonis.
No, it wasn't
Yeah,
him.
it wasn't him
No,
though.
It was Zach
It was a
Collins,
big boy.
and
Was it like
it was a
Papa?
heavy guy.
It was like Papa Nicholas or something like that.
No,
It started with a P, I thought.
I can't remember his name. You gonna maybe look it up.
That's what I'm doing right now.
Who was that guy? Best college basketball players Lonzo Ball.
Hey,
He was good. That shot worked.
Oh, that guy.
that guy,
Yeah.
Karnowski.
Yeah.
That's who it was. Karnowski. Yeah. I
Karnowski.
don't know. I was
Oh my
so wrong.
goodness.
So big.
Dominant force.
I'm trying to think of people we missed. Like.
Mitch McGarry, Michigan. He was pretty
Oh,
good.
Nick Stauskas.
Yes,
Oh,
Nick
wow.
Stauskas. My guy.
Nick Stauskas. 3'2"?
Yep.
I'd say he was a 2.
He was a 6'8", like
But that's like,
dual
you
everything.
look at point guards, you get Peyton Siva,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trey Burke,
Yeah.
Frank Mason.
Oh, dude, Nick Stauskas was
Yep.
a dog, though.
Nah, I'm stuck on the Frank Kaminsky though.
Yeah.
At the 4.
Okay.
That was a good choice.
Yeah.
I like the Frank Kaminsky
Man,
pick.
they just couldn't pull it off, though.
Yeah.
They were close, and then they played Grayson Allen, the Duke team.
Grayson Allen's breakout game was that game.
Yeah.
Was the national
I'll
championship.
never forget. He was in the corner and he shot a 3. It hit front of the rim. He caught it off the bounce and punched it, and I was like, "Game's over."
Yep.
The white boy done. The game's over. Like that's it. Like, now everyone's afraid.
Yeah.
But they had. I mean, Wisconsin's entire team was like that Syracuse team. Like they were all elite college basketball
yeah.
players.
Yeah, they were.
I just couldn't figure it out.
trying to think of that point guard.
I know. I'm trying to too. He was.
He came back from injury and like it just like helped him so
he was
much.
So good. I can't think of his name though. He was a light skinned dude, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was light skinned. Yeah, the 2014-15 team. Let's see, I'm looking it up because obviously Sam Decker and Frank Kaminsky are the big guys.
Those are the ones
I don't think they had Ethan Happ yet. I think he's a little too young.
Levance Fields. Remember Levance Fields?
No,
Point guard played for
Oh,
Pittsburgh.
they had Nigel Hayes.
Nigel Hayes.
What year was that?
So
Levance
Frank
Field
was the 5 because Nigel Hayes was the 4.
That's right.
2005 to 2009.
I don't think so.
Trayvon Jackson, that's who it was.
Okay.
It was him. He was their starter that got hurt. They also had Josh Gasser.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, they did have Ethan Happ. Bronson Cohen.
Bronson, that's something else.
Yeah, he was a
He's a
that's
shooter.
yeah, he was a sophomore that came in when the senior point guard got injured and he started playing. That's when he started getting his point guard minutes
Gotcha.
because he was originally off the bench and then Trayvon rolled his ankle right before the NCAA tournament and was out until the Final Four.
Gotcha.
Do you know who was a player at a school that no one really talks about? Jeff Teague went to Wake Forest and dominated.
He did.
He did.
It's like Jose Alvarado went to Georgia Tech and
like
dominated.
Yep.
You got George Hill from IUPUI,
Yep.
which school is collapsing after this year.
It is?
Yeah, they're completely shutting down the school.
I did not know
Gosh,
that.
really?
I found that out at the beginning of the year, yeah.
Wow. I'm gonna have to text my guy Crenshaw, man. I know
Yeah.
the head coach there. That's tough.
Yeah, last I knew, that's what I heard was this is the last year of operation for the whole school.
Wow. That's rough. Last year
Last year they had a rough year because I saw they had open tryouts
open tryouts
Like
for the students
midway through
through conference.
Did they really?
because they had so many injuries.
Injuries and guys that just weren't eligible.
Ooh, I got one. It's a Maryland. It's like a Maryland thing though.
Ooh.
So give me a second. Des Wells.
Okay.
Remember Des Wells?
I do.
Okay.
I do.
Des Wells was with who's the point guard? Who's the point guard?
Maryland.
Come on, man. You know it.
I know
You
exactly.
know it. What's his name?
On Maryland,
Yeah.
Mellow True.
Yeah, it was Melo, but wasn't there a point guard before Melo with Des Wells? And Jake Layman and
I remember Jake Layman.
Alex, the big homie from like the Ukraine or some
Yep,
shit.
I remember him. I don't remember his last name. I know who you're talking about.
Let's see.
Des Wells was like a 45-year-old man, by the way, and he was so talented.
Yep.
I think it might have been Melo Trimble.
I know Mellow Trimble was there
I
with
think
him.
Melo Trimble was a freshman and Des Wells was on his way out as a senior.
It could have been that.
What is one of the best Maryland point guards? Is
Lenny Wise,
yeah, but the other guy.
the other guy.
His name stuck on my tongue. Too.
What era?
Well,
Oh shit.
yeah.
Oh
Same.
dude. Oh,
Yes.
why'd you do that to me? Oh no.
You're from that area.
I
so
know.
you know.
They won it that year.
They did.
Don't look it up. We're gonna do this together.
I'm looking it up for
No,
myself.
no,
I won't say it. I won't say it.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
What year was it?
4, 5, 3.
Oh, I know who
2,
you're
or
talking.
one?
I know who you're talking about because I
Juan
used to.
Dixon.
Ooh!
Got him.
Oh,
Juan
there it is,
Dixon.
man. And but they had a white boy.
They did.
Which one? There's two.
The white boy.
the specific.
Shit. Give me his first letter of his name.
S.
Steve.
Yep.
Second. First
Yep.
letter of his last name.
B.
Yep.
Wait, he played for the Lakers with I think he
Steve
was-
Blake.
Yep.
Thank you.
I was
Oh man.
when you said like 04 or 05, there was 2 point guards that popped up. It was Steve Blake or Grievous Vasquez.
Ooh.
Vasquez. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I remember Grievous Vasquez on the Toronto Raptors, 2K13.
Yeah.
Did not miss from 3.
At all.
Oh man.
I would make my friends so mad because Toronto was such a bad team.
That was my favorite team growing up.
They were just bad that year, so it was like, let me come in with an 89 DeRozan and dunk on your face, or just come off the bench with Grievous Vasquez and shoot it.
My favorite player of all time is Vince Carter.
No, that's a great choice.
Just because I just grew up watching him dunk on his own players if they were in the way. Like
That's a
just
great choice.
and people forget Vince Carter had a strap.
Yeah,
Like
no, I
he
do.
rarely missed a shot when it was clutch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And even like 20 years later in his career at Dallas, he would still
Yep.
win games.
I remember that clutch shot
Yeah,
that
in
he
the
did.
corner?
Yep.
Yeah, like 40 pounds heavier, 39 years old, just like still dunking and still making shots.
He was still doing that for Atlanta.
I
They
know.
were bad.
I know. I know.
Yeah, Jordan's my all-time favorite just because that's my era. But
Sure.
you throw Jordan and you can't pick him, it's Ray Allen.
Okay.
I mean, the supersonic Ray Allen,
Ooh,
like
an athlete.
athlete,
Yeah.
could do everything, could defend, he could shoot, he could handle the basketball. I mean, he's a Shuttlesworth.
Yeah.
You know.
I like seeing the transition players take from the start of the career to the end. It's usually like a good one. Like watching Ray Allen hit that shot in game 5 or 6
For the Heat, yeah.
But the one transition I really hate seeing is Blake Griffin's.
Yeah.
Because
Me too.
he came in the league a superhero, and now he's a spot up 6'10" shooter.
Yep.
How does that make sense?
Because he didn't give himself the ability to continue to improve his craft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, he just had to do what he could only do left, which was shoot the basketball.
And that's a good college player we missed too.
Yeah,
you're right.
And his brother.
And his brother.
Yeah.
His brother might have been almost
low-key better than him in
in college.
Yeah.
What about you got Ron Baker, Fred VanVleet, Wichita?
Ooh, Fred
Oh, I
Van
forgot
Vliet.
Ron Baker.
That dude
The
was
flow.
nasty.
The flow.
He was so bad. He was okay on the Knicks, but the college Ron Baker was something different.
Wichita Shockers.
Oh, what are you looking up? You thinking of something?
Yeah, what is his name?
Yeah, Clay Anthony Early.
There he
No,
is.
that
Clean
guy.
Early.
That guy was different.
Man, was he? Yeah, it's been some players,
No,
man.
their most recent one, I think, is Landry Shamet.
I don't even know what that is. What was that? Is that this year?
No, that was probably like 5 years ago, I'd say about.
I stopped watching college basketball consistently after like probably 2016 or 17. I don't know why.
I've consistently watched it probably since 08.
You know, a player.
That's
that,
when I can remember at least.
Yeah, a player that I always liked, and he was on a great team, and he wasn't very versatile, but he's still in the league. Is Justin Anderson on Virginia?
Justin
Do you remember him?
Yeah, I remember him.
He was just a freak athlete,
Yeah.
and we were like, he's not going to translate. And then he went like, I think, maybe second round. He's still on the Hawks, like crazy.
I think he's
bounce.
a two-way on the
Yeah.
Hawks.
Do you remember him
Yep.
at all?
Good defender. It's
Yeah,
just-
yeah.
he just-
Athlete and defense.
Yeah, he just never, the 3-point just never translated what he needed.
Yeah, he just couldn't.
Because it's like, it's not, he can't be a Tony Allen now. He can't shoot the ball and play
Yeah.
defense.
He couldn't handle the ball or shoot it, but he had a bounce and he could defend anybody.
Yeah.
In a very good conference at the time.
Yeah, no, you can defend. There's a place
Yeah.
for you as long as you
Yeah.
are an elite defender.
Yeah, you either got to be elite defensively, like a Roberson, or you got to be a Duncan Robinson who can elitely shoot the ball.
Duncan Robinson,
There you go.
D3 hero.
D3.
What is it?
D3.
Duncan Robinson paved the path for what is it? Buddy Boeheim to make the
He
league.
sure did.
Because Buddy Boeheim, I don't think makes the league unless Duncan Robinson
Was
just
it
shows up. He's a
Buddy?
He's a two-way on the Pistons.
Yeah, but did Buddy go? Where did he go to college?
Syracuse.
Where did he go before that?
Jimmy
He
was
to
the
Syracuse.
yeah.
Mhm.
Jimmy
This is the guy.
Boeheim was the other one. That's the other Boeheim brother. He went to I think it was Cornell right away, and then he went to Syracuse after the Ivy League shut down because of COVID.
I just don't know why Duncan was ever at Division
At
III
Division
school.
3. No, that happens, man.
Well, they have
What's
a
the kid who's in the G League
Ryan
now?
Terrell.
Is
You
that
talking about him, the Jewish kid?
That's what I'm talking about.
Is that the white boy?
Yeah, the Orthodox Jew. He's
Who's
first.
a bucket?
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
first one to ever
He was
make
the
it
all-time
to
leading
the
scorer.
yeah.
Or he was the leading scorer in college basketball last year.
Yeah, okay, that's it though. Yeah, because like Duncan King in Michigan like started and everyone's
Mhm.
like, this kid's like 6'7", like why
Yeah.
was he ever not at a Power 5 school? Yeah, it's,
And he's probably playing center
Yep.
at
That's
D3.
probably why.
yeah.
He probably played center in high school too, and he evolved at the Division 3 level.
Yeah. I think Division 3 basketball is so different than Division 2 and 1.
It is.
It like has its own place. That makes
Yeah, it
sense. Do you
does.
agree?
Yeah, it does. It's a different brand of basketball, but similar as Coach was telling you guys earlier. I mean, basketball, sports all over. It doesn't matter what level you're playing at. There's a level of success and there's a level of competitiveness that you just don't see unless you're there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I coached at the NAIA level,
Mhm.
and I played at the NAIA level. And when I played at the NAIA level, our Robert Morris team beat Northwestern when they were in the top 10 in the country.
Really?
They were top 10 in the country.
Oh shit, that's awesome.
And we went to their gym on ESPN and beat them.
Good for you guys.
And we were number one team in the country in NAIA at the time, but I mean, there's so many teams right now at the NAIA level that produce very high level talent. Like the team that won the national championship at NAIA last year, Loyola out of New Orleans, I think 3 of their guys signed Division I this year.
Good.
One's at Ole Miss, one's at Marquette. I
Damn.
don't know where the other kid is at.
Yeah, good for them.
No, it's some talent all over the place, man.
Yeah, that's crazy. I feel like football is the only team that doesn't have that translation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because if you're not like
Yeah.
6'6", 330, not playing online Division 1, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
basketball, man, that's why I love basketball. That's why it's the best sport ever.
I agree.
Basketball, it's not even close, dude. Like it's not even close.
I agree.
As much as I would agree with you, just because I'm a basketball coach, my favorite sport is baseball.
What?
I played baseball all the way up into my 10th
Dude, you
grade.
give me Tony Parker, baseball, you always curveballs, man. I can't.
Yeah, I was an elite pitcher.
Really?
An elite pitcher. I played shortstop. I pitched. I actually, my 9th grade year, I was upset that I made the choice not to play anymore because in 9th grade I was pitching upwards 88, 89, 90
What?
in the 9th grade and just gave it up.
And you just stopped 9th grade?
Yeah, because my high school team in basketball would go to state every year, and
Oh.
sports just ran into each other. It was like, you know what? Longevity wise, I probably want to play basketball because I loved it more at the time.
Yeah.
But I was a better baseball player.
Man,
Like, I probably should have stuck with that.
that's crazy, dude. So what state did you play? Were you in one state all 4 years?
Yeah, in high school. Well, no, my freshman, sophomore, and junior year, I was in Beaumont, Texas. I went to Ozan High School. Ozan shut down about maybe 4 years ago. The most recent hurricane messed up one of the rival city high schools, Central High School. So the school district just decided to combine those 2 schools. And so now it's Beaumont United. But then my senior year, going into my senior year of high school, my dad's youngest brother ended up coming down with kidney failure and was paralyzed from the waist down. And at the time, nobody in our family could sacrifice leaving their jobs. And I was just a college athlete, a high school athlete that had the college scholarships already kind of lined up, knew what I was gonna do. And my family was just like, hey, let's send you up there, let you take care of it. And that didn't mess up my ability to play where I was originally going, but I ended up tearing my everything in my right knee except my ACL the first day of practice my senior year. It was in South Bend Riley High School in South Bend, Indiana. But prior to that, I had some some nice looks.
Really?
I started looking. New Mexico State actually was one of the first schools that I was actually getting looked at. I told Coach that the other
Full
day.
circle.
Yeah, it is full circle. And prior to working here at Western, I had never set foot in New Mexico other than on that visit to go see New Mexico State.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Wow. That's a crazy story.
yeah, it is.
So you finished your high school career in Indiana.
Yeah, finished my high school career in Indiana, South Bend, played there 1 year, tore everything in my right knee. Ended up not having to have surgery just because the only thing that didn't tear was the ACL. They sent me to the doctors at Notre Dame, the trainers at Notre Dame. Amazing.
Yeah,
Amazing.
They better be.
Amazing.
Yeah.
It was like, I got hurt the first day of practice. I played in the Christmas tournament.
Damn.
Played in the Christmas tournament from Christmas on to the rest of the season.
And it's still good.
Yeah, it's good. I wore my brace my freshman year of college,
Yeah.
and I realized it was just slowing me down.
Yeah.
And I'm not wearing this again. I don't care what the doctor says.
D1 trainers.
Yeah.
I'm still taking this terror though over that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. My
Yeah.
thoughts.
For sure.
Oh man.
She lets me do my laundry.
So there's a couple guys on the football team that think they can round up 5 football players and beat the basketball team.
Are you one of them?
Of course I am.
Yeah,
But yeah, we made that. Oh, can't talk. It didn't happen after the season.
After the
Maybe.
season's over
We'll
with.
see. Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
Man.
You know, it's crazy. That's an argument that I think they have everywhere across the
Oh,
country.
absolutely.
You know, my high school, they had that argument because our football team and our basketball team really didn't get along.
Mhm.
But you'd always find a fight somewhere. And we always would say, well, the basketball players could play football. We all played football. Y'all couldn't play basketball.
And I think that's a misconception of football players. It's like, we can play basketball. Like, no, you guys can run in a straight line and maybe shoot the ball. But when you get in the paint, it's not football. Put
It's
those
not.
put those elbows away.
Yep.
Yeah.
But basketball players are like, yeah, that player as a receiver, oh my
Oh,
god,
yeah.
that's
Yeah.
dangerous.
I played DN.
Did you?
I played DN up until my 8th grade year.
Man,
Finished 8th grade, went on to 9th grade. The same thing with baseball. It's just like,
Just give it
runs
up.
in everything.
man, I miss basketball. So I played JUCO basketball.
Gotcha. Where'd you go?
CCBC in Baltimore.
Okay.
And then I got injured, so I coached junior college girls basketball 2 seasons.
That's what's up.
And then I found a way punting football on YouTube. But yeah, basketball's like, I hate football. Don't show Suki Hill. Dude,
I can't stop him
Yeah, I guess.
viewing it.
Well, whatever. But he knows. But yeah, basketball's like,
That's what's up, man. That's a great story.
oh, dude, man, I miss it.
So, would you coach after you're done with school? Is that what you want to do?
Yeah, man. So the assistant coach when I played got the head coaching job at the girls team for our
Okay.
first year, and I was one of the assistants.
Okay.
Right now, he is the head coach of Baltimore City Community College, and they have a very good reputation. It's all
Gotcha.
good and bad.
Gotcha.
But he said as soon as I want to coach again, just give him a call.
That's what's up. Man.
Yeah. So I mean, I miss it, man.
That's what's up.
That's why this is the longest podcast we've done.
No,
Easily.
Yeah. Like football, I can't talk. Cross country, can't talk. But basketball, I do this all
You
day.
got plenty to talk about.
Yeah. I
That's
do
what's
this,
up.
I do this all day. So
That's what's up.
yeah, man.
Yeah, I'm good to keep going unless you guys want to stop.
I do this all damn day, man. But he's probably got somewhere to be. So.
Yeah, I gotta finish some paperwork, but you definitely can invite me back. Let me know. Maybe midway through the season, I'll come back, check in with you guys, let you know
Yeah.
how we're doing.
Yeah, man. I'll be
Right on.
gone, but he can hold it down. So.
Yeah. Go on.
Yeah, it's a long story, man. I'll come by and chop it up a day with you. For sure. So.
All right, we'll be right back after this quick message from Mustang Pride Partner. If you've ever got a hankering for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, why don't you stop on down by Denny's, as we're open 24/7, and not to mention, it's Rawhide's favorite place to eat, Denny's. The Mustangs will be back in action this week. The football team travels to Eastern New Mexico University for the Green Chili Bowl. If Western wins, they will most likely be playing a bowl game. The men's and women's basketball teams will both be beginning their regular seasons with the conference crossover. The men will stay home for the games. That's Westminster and Adams State. The women will be on the road for games against New Mexico Highlands and Fort Lewis. It's been the 10th edition of Rawhide's Mob, presented by Hatch State Line Toyota and Hatch Ford of Silver City. For Jared Drake, Macario Campos, and Jack Rasmussen, I'm Jake Wetzel. Remember, Mustang fans, you can stay up to date with us by following us on all social medias at WNMUMustangs.com, or you can find us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and TikTok. Remember, hashtag Rare Breed.